thing you're going to want to do is clean out the expansion joint. For me, it was just full of mud. For others, there may already be some type of sealer in there, so you're going to want to make sure you clear that out fully. I had some expanded foam in little bits just here, so I had to cut that out and clean that up properly, because you want to make sure you get a good seal once you put your sealant on there. Once I had the expansion joints cleaned out, I let them dry overnight, then came back the next day and made sure to sweep all the dirt away from the joint itself. The next part in the process is to put sand into the expansion joint. Depending on how much mud or dirt you got out of there, or how deep the concrete is, will depend on how much sand you need to put in there. Now, if you don't put sand in, it means you're going to put your backer rod too far in, which means you'll use too much sealant, or it'll just be low and it could gather water and start creating an issue where water just gathers there. So you're going to want to make sure you put sand in and make sure it's as level as possible. Next, you're going to want to grab your backer rod. Now, depending on the width of your expansion joint, you can double this up, but I don't need to here. This 3/4 inch rod fits in perfectly, so I'm going to go along and just push that in. And because I leveled the sand off below, the backer rod sits in perfectly and is level all the way along. Now, there were a couple of bits where the sand wasn't quite level, but I just used my finger to clean that out as much as possible. It wasn't perfect, but I was happy enough to continue on with the rest of the process. The next thing you need to do is apply the sealant. This is fairly easy, but make sure you buy enough sealant. I didn't buy enough, and then I had to go back and buy the big 29-ounce packages, but in the end I got there, and I made sure to keep it as consistent as possible all the way along the expansion joint, so I didn't have high and low parts. It does level out, but you want to make sure it's consistent as possible, and you just need to work your way along each joint, and then you can move on to the next one.